Because people always vote in such a city.
Walk on the groundwater, and the sheet down there. It's too late now.
It's too late for today.
Yeah.
It's about 10. Ask you what time zone you're ready.
It's just like it.
It's just like I've got it on calls when he's resigning something. Change something. Something. Change something. It was always that something. I got it. Like that. Yeah, I got it. Good work. Pull it for a change or something. Yeah.
Shannon doesn't pay them.
You got a shoestring dragging down.
We'll follow the agenda.
Two weeks later, and I didn't come in with it.
At 7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. I need a motion to approve the temporary clerk in the absence of the city clerk who is ill. Motion by Weeks. Second by Carl. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Roll call, please.
McDaniel,
Present.
Raver,
Present.
Gilchrist,
Here.
Clarkin,
Yes.
Weeks,
Here.
Thomas, Mitko,
Here.
and Bradley.
Here.
Okay, this special meeting is called under ordinance 420.020, was requested by council members Bradley, McDaniels, and Gilchrist. I would remind the council that under ordinance 420.020, that only the agenda topic listed can be discussed. Any other topic is not permitted. A financial sheet is available at your place at the table following the auditor and clerk consultation and update to the city accounting system. An organizational meeting was held with the mayor, council representatives, and the State Tractor Pullers Association on March 2nd at City Hall. At that meeting, the city learned the specifics of the sanctioned tractor pull, questions from the city in regard to parking, vendors, sponsors, advertising, city costs, concession preferences, and admission prices were discussed. It was concluded that an upfront $1,000 fee would be needed to guarantee the pull. This would guarantee a protected pull date, track officials, an announcer, 200 programs to be sold by the city at $2, a board member to monitor entrance. The $1,000 upfront fee was due no later than April 15th without a penalty. The city was informed at that March 2nd meeting that the crowd size over the 2014 poll could double. The proceeds would drastically increase. Following approval by the old council and the new council, a check was sent by the deadline to assure that the tractor pull date could be guaranteed. And an ordinance is being drafted for approval by the council at the May 12th council meeting. The council minutes from April 14th, and I take the part that refers to the tractor pull so that we can get everyone up to speed. In the unapproved minutes, Mayor Edwards reminded the council that the old council had approved a tractor pull for September 19th and asked the new council if they wanted to commit to sponsoring the tractor pull, since it would be a sanctioned pull and involves more of an expenditure than the one held last year. The sanctioned pull requires $1,000 up front, showing that the city is committed to this, and another $7,500 for prize money and other expenses would be needed at the conclusion of the tractor pull. Councilman Bradley asked the city why the city was sponsoring the fundraiser. The mayor told him that the money collected last year was designated to the park board for improvements at the city lake and the city park. Councilman Bradley said maybe the park board could get involved. Councilman Raber asked how the $1,000 upfront money was raised, and the mayor told him that some of the income last year, which came from the sponsorships and the gate receipts, would be used. Councilman McDaniel asked if the city would be responsible for all the monies if there was a rain out, and the mayor said we would be out the commitment money of $1,000, but not the balance. The mayor asked for a committee to be in charge of the pull and to meet with the Tractor Pull Association monthly. Larry Clarkin said he would work on the committee again, and Doyle Weeks said he would also. The next meeting with the association is May 4th. Mayor Edwards asked for a motion to proceed with the tractor pull, and Councilman Nibko made the motion with a second by Councilman Weeks. The motion was approved by the council. I will allow representatives of the Missouri State Tractor Pullers Association and its organizers to participate in the discussion tonight to ensure that we get information of a current, factual, up-to-date manner. The floor is now open to council members for questions.
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
Since Councilman Weeks and I agreed to participate as the committee, Councilman Bradley has also agreed to participate.
That will be noted. Thank you. Okay, the floor is open for questions. On the agenda, it says discussion of financials which will be required of the city to host a sanctioned tractor pull of the Missouri State Tractor Pullers Association.
Point of order, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
On the contract, which was not at our council meeting for April 14th, this copy here is what we got during the council meeting, stating the cost associated with the tractor pull. As a new council member, I think the contract states some more expenses that was not talked about at the council meeting.
And what expenses are we referring to?
Well, the total cost is listed at $9,275, which is a difference of $775, which wasn't listed on this financial.
Okay, I'm going to call on one of the Tractor Pull Association officials to address that.
That is only needed if that $9,275 75 would just be only needed if we have the classes that we put down. We don't have to run all those classes. The less classes you have, the cheaper it gets. That's the reason that was put down. I think there's 6 classes listed.
6 classes listed for a goal of 8275.
Yeah, 6 classes. We do not have to run 6 classes. We can run 5 at a minimum.
Excuse me. Here's the copy that they're reading from.
But this is the contract that the mayor has signed with this association, and this is the total cost that it says. So there's no black and white writing as to what the actual cost is gonna be. Who's the one that determines which classes we're gonna pull?
The Missouri State president to determine that.
Okay, so if you take a $1,500 class or a $2,000 class out or an $1,800 class out, then that number's gonna be subtracted by that number, is that correct? Okay, so, I guess my point is that, if you take out the pro field tractors of $625, that would be taking $9,275 minus the $625, which is still more than the $7,500. Is this correct?
That would be correct. The pro field tractor would probably be the one that comes out of there.
Okay,
The modified tractor class would be the one that would come out.
of 1,800. Okay,
My understanding is the $9,275, the total cost is come of sponsorship fees, correct?
I'm sorry,
The
now?
sponsorship is what covers that $9,000.
Yes.
And last year we raised $5,722.
It's gate fees plus sponsorship fees.
Yeah, we're gonna have the gate fees will be help paying for that, this 9,000, or, well, it'll be 8,000 something if you take off the modified class.
If I'm right, I think our last year's goal was to hit a sponsorship of $5,000.
Correct.
so which one of these are we going off of? This is one that I got from Linda earlier, is this
Okay,
ledger
the
we're
one
going
you got
off
from Linda earlier was an unofficial preliminary financial report.
of? Okay,
The auditor has been in, he's sit down with Sharon, they've entered the correct current figures into the city ledger accounting system.
okay.
I have another question there. On the contract, line item 13, it says, in the event of a rainout prior to start time, if the sled has arrived, there will be a charge of blank. It's not filled out on the contract.
I don't have an answer.
Okay. Reading further, it says, if the show has started, and then the full fee for the sled is due on the scheduled contest date.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay.
But I don't have that number.
And the sled fee will be approximately $1,500.
Correct.
Now, is this the only association pulling at this?
No, it's not. First Pullers of Missouri will be there as well.
Okay, and is that another contract we have to get into?
Yes.
Well, with the brush, I'm Roger Goody, I'm the president of Brush Pullers, and it'll be the same deal as we did last year. We'll take all the hook money, and all you gotta do is provide prizes for the classes, which is roughly $1,500.
Above and beyond the 8,500 with the MSTPA?
Yeah, MSTPA is a total different group. It was a Brush Pullers poll last year.
So what what's being stated is that 8,500 to the MSTPA and 1,500 to the brush pullers, is this correct?
Yes. And the brush pullers will be like all the way from your antique tractors, working farm tractors, and street legal pickups,
Okay,
is what that will be. And then we had a few hot classes last year to kind of change some things up.
okay. Now, you guys, I was on your all's website, it says there's gonna be 2 sleds there.
Yes.
And is that included in your all's price?
With the hook fees, if we're taking hook fees, we take care of the insurance and the cost of the sled.
Okay.
And prizes could either be trophies, if you want to just do t-shirts, hats, we're just a bunch of good guys that's trying to have fun.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
Yes.
Mayor, I just wanted to be on the record that I am in favor of having this tractor pull here in City Hall. I'm a big fan of motorsports, have been for a long time. I follow dirt track racing around, and I know that a concern that I have is when the weather is, threatening rain, and I decide that I'm gonna drive down to Warrensburg to go to the dirt track, and it looks like it's threatening rain down there, I usually don't take the trip down to Warrensburg because I've been rained out so many times. I drive down there, you get your ticket bought, you get in the stands, and it gets rained out. So that's a concern I have. On line item 6 of the contract, it says, in an event of a partial rainout, any of the classes that have started competition shall be paid in full. So it is possible that you have threatening weather, your crowd's down, they get one pull that gets rained out, we're still on the hook for all the sponsorship money. So it's just a concern I have, I just want to state that.
Based on my experience last year, working at the gate on the pole, the majority of the attendees, and this is the brush pullers event last year, the majority of the attendees were there pretty early on. By the middle of the pole, there weren't that many more new attendees. Just as a matter of information, this is an FYI based on. So like I said, if we get started, we should have a pretty good crowd already in place.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Just FYI, the 3 of us are on the hook to try and raise sponsorship money for the pool, but all the other members of the council are welcome to join in and help us if they think they can get some more sponsorship money.
I got a comment. Not only that, the total cost that we're looking around is probably going to be just a safe number, $12,000. So if we can raise $12,000 in sponsorships, we have nothing to worry about. Okay.
All right, this brings up another point, line item 2 of the contract. For insurance, if you read through the paragraph, the second sentence in it, it says, for insurance reasons, the pulling track must be lined with concrete barriers or metal guardrails and a snow fence no closer than 35 feet to the edge of the track must be provided. So what are we going to do about that? I mean, that's another cost. Somebody wants to speak?
Larry, you want to address that, Larry Miller?
Yeah, I talked to Whistle Ready Mix,
Uh-huh.
and they're willing to let us have 20 of their 6-foot blocks for the day, which is 120 foot, and then I've got a total of 14 or so blocks. Right now, I've got 192 foot of track already covered that we're not going to have, the blocks are already provided, and Whistle just wants advertising for the day.
So we're just going to line half the track then?
Well, I think if Rick talked to somebody, they were more worried about the first 120 foot, so.
That's where the speed is and the most.
So if we can just line 200 foot of it, then we may have to do like we did last year. We may have to put some trailers and stuff down there. It's a doable deal.
Brad has a comment.
You don't have to have the blocks next to each other. You can have space in between.
Okay,
And that doesn't take near as many blocks that way.
correct.
And last year, we had trailers, gooseneck trailers sitting at distance back, and we didn't allow anybody sitting in front of those gooseneck trailers.
Okay.
So that's what we did last year for safety guard. But as far as the blocks goes, I mean, that's great, and we'd like to have them. But on the north side, for the Missouri State tractor puller would be, the south side where the brush pullers would be, there's nothing that says you have to have that for them, because we're talking 4-mile-an-hour tractors.
Right, I understand.
Yeah. So the thing, like I said, you can have a space between the blocks, and you don't have to have them next to each other, so it allows less blocks.
Okay.
You have to have it on both sides of the track.
No, you don't. This is the north side where the Missouri State truck and tractor pullers will be, because we've got a whole other track on the south side where the other sleds run, and then we got a barrier between them and the sled, that sled, and the next set of people on the south side sitting. So, there's a good 75, 100 feet between Missouri State and the crowd on the south side.
Okay. So what about the logistics for getting the blocks here?
I'm willing to help haul them down here.
Okay.
I helped last year a lot on this thing. And I'm willing to.
Well, and I'm just asking, I'm not saying that I'm 100% against the poll, but these are just questions that I think need to be answered. You know, that was the main reason for me bringing this meeting together, was these are questions that need to be answered,
Yeah.
you know? So that's,
Yeah, and I'm not the only one who's willing to help to get them blocks here. There's other numerous people in the community that's involved in this tractor pull last year. They'll step up again.
okay.
I've got trucks and trailers and heavy equipment, I'll move them, I'll load them, and I'm friends with Mr. Whistle. I'm sure he'll give us access to this plant where I can pull some of his guys and help.
Doesn't sound like it's gonna be an issue. Did I see a hand over here?
Yeah, I'd like to ask, is it typical that a town, the city government in a town sponsors these?
Not very often.
Yeah, that would be my question, if that's a bona fide proposition for a city to be doing. I mean, you know, we've got a lot of problems in the city and you have to prioritize. It would seem to me like it'd be more on the Chamber of Commerce or something like that, you know.
Well, 2.5 years ago, the previous mayor and I, we went to the city chamber of commerce and we approached them with the idea of having a tractor pull. And they come back with us about 3 weeks later and said there's no way they could do it. They sponsor too many things now. That there's no way they could have a tractor pull down here. And so we just kind of just let it go. And then, as far as Mr. Edwards coming in, why the previous mayor and I talked again, and you know, if we can get this worked out through the city and city sponsored, that's what we've done. And the city picked it up at that time.
I don't like the idea of it, because anything we profit we make off of it goes to our park boards. And we got a project we're gonna be doing shortly at the city lake, we gotta have some money for.
On this profit and loss of last year's tractor pull, on the numbers, if you go to the city of Holden profit and loss budget performance, 5190 shows a profit of 12,646. Is that what the tractor pull gross last year?
What page are you on?
That'd be page 2,
The March 2015.
March 2015. Under 5190 city functions, the second line under that, there's a concert and there's a truck and tractor pull, and it states $12,646.50.
That's the revenue.
But that doesn't match the 12,000 that you have on this page here. This 12,146.
Well, the only way I can explain that is that since that tractor pull ended last year in September, we have sort of had an ongoing revenue and expense addition, subtraction. For example, we start going back through the expenses, and we had not paid a porta potty bill. We had not received a bill. So just last week, we called the porta potty supplier, and they had failed to bill us. So it's kind of been an evolving thing. We're within a few $100s, so you have to give us a little leeway here as we work with our vendors on getting the bills.
This is income though.
Okay. Well, we had some late revenues come in.
Late revenues on a project that was done back in September.
Well, we're still paying bills too. So yes. Just because a tractor pull ended doesn't mean that the revenues and expenditures stopped.
Well, normally whenever I get done doing a project for a customer in my trenching business, when I hand them a bill, that's it.
But we hadn't got the bill for the porta potty. So when they handed it to us, that ended that bill.
What extra revenue are you talking about?
This is not a council
Okay.
audience participation. This is tractor pull council. So the question's out of order.
So, and then, you know, your city shared expense on, I mean, it just, there's a lot of things that just aren't adding up number-wise. You
Well,
say you
we're-
put $3,400 into the budget of the park board, and I can't find it in here. I mean.
We're here to talk about the revenues, the
Well, this-
expenditure, excuse me. On the agenda, it says, and I repeat, financials which will be required of the city to host a sanctioned truck and tractor pull. So it's the revenues that we as a city are responsible for to host that event. If you want to come to City Hall tomorrow and comb through this with us, I'll be glad to address that. But tonight, let's keep on topic, on subject.
Well, you need to know what last year's did before you can move forward with the new project, am I correct?
I think we do.
Okay.
Yes, Jim.
On the expenses that we have listed out on here for the 2014 tractor pull, not listed, that isn't added into the 2015 tractor pull, is the ambulance. It says in the contract that an ambulance will need to be on site, and if one leaves, the pull will not continue until an ambulance takes its place.
I'll address your, I'm sorry.
Well, just money. I don't know what that costs.
Okay, I'm going to address your question, but I'll let the tractor pullers go first, then I'll follow up.
The brush pullers, part of that pull starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They do not require an ambulance to be on site. Only the Missouri State portion of that pull. They start at 7. Usually it's about a 3-hour show. So you'd be paying for about 3 hours worth of have the ambulance there for 3 hours. I think it's $50
Per hour.
per hour. So that's what you'd be looking at.
Okay, so we ought to add that to our budget.
Does that answer your question? Okay.
Any other comments or questions on the financials of the 2015 pull? Yes.
My opinion is that this is good information that probably before the council voted on this, we'd only had this information.
That's an opinion, and it doesn't fall with the agenda. There was a timing issue there. Clerk out, information coming together, attorney on vacation.
The minutes from that first meeting of March 4th, the minutes from the meeting of March 4th, the very first meeting.
March 2.
I'm sorry. Yeah, March 2nd, sorry. I was interrupted. Yeah, March 2nd. Those minutes, are they available? They can look at it, on your computer.
There really aren't minutes. I have notes, but not minutes. We had really, that was a preliminary organizational meeting with the parties involved.
But you have some notes.
So on this, if it's gonna take $12,000 to put this on, what funds are we gonna appropriate? Where are the funds gonna be appropriated for this until we raise the money?
We don't need money until the day of the poll. We need the 1,000, which we've already paid. That came from last year's profits. Not taxpayer money, but last year's profits, which is a separate category in the profit and loss here.
So you wrote the check back in March?
No, April.
No.
April 14th.
Okay, we wrote it early because our conversation with the tractor pullers, we weren't sure what that deadline date was going to be. We didn't want to not have it in a timely manner. So it's sat there in the office since that time. But it was mailed on the 14th because the deadline was the 15th. Without the check being received, there was a $150 penalty clause. Being conscious of expenses, I opted to avoid the $150 penalty. Yes.
Will we have something in writing from these two gentlemen stating that they're gonna help foot the bill for the hauling of the concrete blocks?
Well, I took their word last year, I would take it this year, but I'm sure they would draw up something if the council would feel more comfortable with that.
We're not gonna charge it.
Well, that's all right, but you know how it is in business. Your word's only as, I mean, I'm not trying to say that your word's not good, but in business, I've owned a business and I've been taken advantage of, and I think it's important to have things in writing. Yeah.
We can do that.
I'll work with you on that, Fred.
I just like to make a comment that, you know, there's a lot of people that volunteered last year to make this pool happen and worked hard at it. Took away from their families, took away from their jobs, took away from other things to make this happen last fall. And I know it brought things into the city that day. The gal over at Casey's told me she was swamped that day. She should have had extra staff. You know, I mean, the tax money that's brought in for that day, I'm sure made a difference for that day. I don't know if there's a way to see that or not, but I'm sure it did. But there's just a lot of things that this thing does for the city, amount of people it brings in, and things like that. I have people all the time asking, when's the tractor pull and hold it? When's the tractor pull and hold it? He's there last year, we want to be back again this year. And I tell them, you know, September the 19th. So, you know,
I would add to that the goodwill that was developed from this area of Johnson County and farther out, you can't measure in dollars and cents.
correct.
Jim and I worked the gate, and on the way out, we heard people time after time say, "You're doing this again next year, aren't you?" I mean, I'm not making this up. It happened over and over as people were exiting. So people, you know, as a city, we felt really good after that tractor pull because of the goodwill that we were able to generate and still make money for the Park and Rec Department and provide entertainment for the local people and surrounding area. As a council at that time, we felt we were on cloud nine because we had pulled together every councilman, well, there were a few exceptions, but almost all the council members worked at that gate. We had Park and Rec people working at that gate. That tractor pull pulled the community together.
But we're discussing the financials.
Well, that's right, but he asked a question here about, you know, I just want to make sure that we give credit where credit's due. And now we're back again with an opportunity at no cost to the city to provide the same type of an activity with the possibility of generating more revenue and probably more goodwill.
How much tax money do you think we made out of this?
How much tax money? None.
Well, we
Well,
just,
the city, the business,
Well,
Sales tax. Yeah.
sales tax, I'm sorry, I thought you meant.
So-
That's what I'm saying.
so, I'm just gonna throw this out there. There was $6,464 that was said to be sold at the gate, correct? At $10 a ticket,
Yes.
okay? That's 646 people, is that correct?
642.
642. Okay, and if every person spent $50, so that's 640 some people, spent $50 in this town, the city holding through tax revenue would raise $451.
that's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing? I was going to say.
Well, you know, you guys are boasting about the fact that we were sold all this merchandise and we made all this money on taxes as well, but
There were a lot of people.
Last
that
year was our
didn't
first year, Bobby, we were just learning.
okay.
There were
We
probably another.
made money while we were learning and made the learning curve.
There were probably another 200 people that did not pay an entrance fee that were part of the whole organization, competitors and everything else.
Correct.
That were
Vendors
involved.
stopped and put
Vendors.
gas in the truck, then fuel in the pickups, they went in and bought, you know, pop or coolers or adult beverage, whatever. So, I'm gonna throw this out here, I mean, you know, I'm getting really upset with the way this is going. I mean, we're trying to do something good for the city, and a person gets tired of volunteering his time and running into roadblocks. if you guys as a city council and the city don't want to do this, just rent this ground for the day to somebody and let somebody come in here and do it themselves.
And focus our efforts on getting some streets paved.
I'm sorry now?
And focus our effort on getting some streets paved.
That's an out of order comment. We're here on tractor pull. I'm really starting to feel the impact here too of, I'm sensing negativity for something that was so positive last year. We want to do it again. That's why the old council endorsed it. We brought it to the new council. And I'm a little appalled that we're getting, it appears to be negative. Something that generated so much revenue. You know, the last park board meeting that I went to.
Why don't we let them say what they'd like to have?
Well, the last park board meeting I went to, which was about 6 months ago, one of the park board members said, we would like to repave the city park area. I said, the budget won't allow it. It just won't allow it. And so, me and my creativity think, okay, if the city can generate sales tax, gas tax, tractor pull receipts, maybe that could become more of a reality. You know, it takes sources of revenue from all directions to meet the needs of what the people want. And if we as a city can't pull together to meet those public needs, then we've got a real issue. We need, all I hear prior to being elected mayor was, let's work together. Well, I'm here to work together. If somebody has an opposing view and does not want to work together, they need to stand up now so that we can either move around you or regroup, one or the other. But I'm here to work together. We've extended the opportunity for the city to do this again. And we've got good support from tractor associations that are willing to come in here and work with us. They do all the work. We sell the tickets. I mean, we take the admission. We sell the sponsorships. They do the hard work. What more can you ask for?
We already have volunteers starting to volunteer, wanting to volunteer. When people's already started, they got the word, yes, the council approved at the last meeting, we're gonna do it. There's people already speaking up with volunteer.
Yeah.
Bringing people to town.
Is there any reason we should contact our insurance company and see if we need an extra rider to cover an event like this?
Okay, in timely fashion, yes, just like we did last year.
So it's possible.
The tractor pullers carry insurance, yes,
I
sir.
already have that in our budget already for this year.
It covers all the people that's associated with the tractor pull?
Just with the tractor pull. Now, if you have a spectator that falls down, get into their car out in the parking lot, that does not cover. Just the event of the tractor pull. If,
But our
for
city
whatever
liability covers that.
godforsaken reason happens, if the tractor does get out in the crowd, that issue is covered. We got $1 million policy to cover that.
And our city liability covers our crowds and things like that.
It's just a general question.
Yeah, I think we're covered.
Any other comments, questions? Jim?
Do we need to figure anything into our budget to cover the expenses that the street department, the hours that they will put into putting on a tractor pull?
They're already on staff and budget their time accordingly. The hard work was done last year with the track preparation. That's done.
The best thing about the tractor, the whole idea behind the making the tractor pull last year was to bring people to town, not just to have a tractor pull, but to show our town off. You know, we need to fill houses and bring business here. You got people come from everywhere. They may end up falling in love with the house they see for sale. And we might even sell a house out of it. Just to keep the people in town is more than enough.
If we move forward, as we're moving forward with this, is there going to be a permanent entryway put into the city industrial park out there, or are we just gonna dump gravel back in it? Or are we just gonna, what are we gonna do there? I know this is kind of off topic, but I think that it's something else that needs to be discussed because it is an expense. But I think it would be a good idea to do so to better the industrial park to have a wider entrance.
That's gonna be taken care of this year at the request of the Tractor Pullers Association. They want a wider entry to accommodate the trucks
Okay.
and so forth.
Can that be a permanent?
Well, we don't want to encourage that as a place for people to go into other than when it's being used. But this year, we're having a swap meet out there and we're having this tractor pull, hopefully. So that's something that Larry will have to address, cost-wise and need-wise.
So the state has something to say about that.
I thank the mayor for having the special meeting. I think there's a lot of questions that's been answered here tonight that cleared the air.
That's good. Time well spent if we all get
Well, now, I guess now, we don't need to get on board and let's go.
Okay.
Okay, who else is gonna go help get some sponsorships?
Before you take names, I have talked to the city attorney in regard to making an ordinance, which is required for this, and he will have it at the May meeting. Do I need to tell him we move forward on this with the ordinance? No sense in doing it if we're not going forward.
And I think tactical guys need to know something secure.
Exactly.
Can
Where are we at?
we bring that up at the next council meeting?
Well, I'd like to have a show of hands tonight, not a vote, but a show of hands, yea or nay, because I need to tell the city attorney whether to proceed with that ordinance. And the tractor pull people need to know. We need to be selling sponsors yesterday.
Will we cancel the meeting
They
already?
can't be spinning their wheels.
They need to know, they need to know.
Yes, Brad.
Our polls start at the end of this month, in May. And as we go to these polls all summer, they're gonna be hearing about the Holden tractor pull. So, you know, this thing, if you're gonna do it, it needs to happen. Because we're gonna print out flyers, you know, some generic flyers and start hauling them around and stuff like that. I think that a couple of us is gonna bring a piece of equipment down here for the car show, put it on display, and advertise the tractor pull the same day. And so, we want to move with this, but it's up to you all.
Typically, what are the gates?
I'm sorry, now,
Typically, what are the gates? What would be an average figure for the gate?
profit-wise, or what,
Just the gate?
then gate fees usually $10 or $12.
No, but,
How many people?
yeah.
Last year, we had 600 and something to the gate, maybe close to
Well, we were
700.
told that it'd be double that this year.
I'm almost positive it can be there. I mean, I've watched this thing grow.
See, what I fear, it's more money than last year. I have heard a couple of 3 sponsors last year that aren't going to sponsor this year.
Okay.
Consequently, maybe that wouldn't be $5,000.
Okay.
And I just don't want to see the city get into a position where they're going to lose money. And,
Well, I
you know, I know you can't
I
guarantee it,
think
but
that's
that's,
people gonna be there, but I just going off from what we had last year and what I've seen around the area with the other places that this Missouri State Association goes to, and the amount of people that fit in the stands. I mean, Oak Grove brings in 2,500 people. I understand Oak Grove's a bigger town, but that association has a following. And so you pick up extra people that way.
fair enough.
Yep.
On the website for the Missouri, Brush Pullers of Missouri, they have Holden listed as a September 26, 2015 date.
We're working on that. That was the original date, and we moved it up a week for we wouldn't compete with the
Okay.
antique show in Chilhowie.
Strike it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
we're working on the website, so I apologize.
You looking for a motion or what?
No, we can't vote. It's not on the agenda. I just need a straw poll here of are we in favor or not. Jim?
Not at this time.
Sam?
I'm gonna say not this time, but I want to qualify that. We've got to, if we're gonna go with it, we've got to do it.
Yes.
And,
Jim?
guess I'd go with it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
4,
Yeah.
5,
Yes.
6. Okay, thank you. Any other comments on this before we adjourn?
The tractor pull committee, when we're gonna have our next meeting.
May.
Let me look at it, and I'll put something in. Brad, I'm gonna need your phone number, okay? You guys tonight.
Okay, do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Parkin for adjournment. Second? Second. Okay, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.